Qatar is a peninsular Arab country whose terrain comprises arid desert and a long Persian Gulf shoreline of beaches and dunes. Also on the coast is the capital, Doha, known for its futuristic skyscrapers and other ultramodern architecture inspired by ancient Islamic design. For example, the National Museum of Qatar has an architecture inspired by local lenticular-shaped gypsum crystals called desert rose. The citizens of Qatar have the fourth highest income per capita in the world, thanks to oil and gas revenue. After Russia and Iran, Qatar has the third largest natural gas reserves in the world and is a major exporter of liquefied gas. Of the 3 million people living in Qatar, only around 300,000 are citizens. Almost 90% of the people living here, around 2.7 million, are migrant workers. These poorly paid migrants are from India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. Over 80% of the population lives in the capital city of Doha. Qatar is a monarchy ruled by a hereditary leader, with power handed down through the male line. Its official religion is Islam. Human habitation in Qatar dates back to 50,000 years ago. Settlements and tools dating back to the Stone Age have been unearthed in the peninsula. In 224 CE, an Iranian empire that lasted over 4 centuries gained control over the territories surrounding the Persian Gulf. At this time, Qatar was famous for 2 commodities, pearls and purple dye. Pearl diving was difficult and dangerous work, often done by slaves. Some divers would wear loose clothing while diving to mitigate stings from jellyfish. The purple dye, called Tyrrhenian purple, comes from the secretions of a predatory sea snail known as murex snails. Extracting this dye involved tens of thousands of snails and substantial labor, and as a result the dye was highly valued. From 661 to 750 CE, the first Islamic dynasty ruled. Qatar was described as a famous horse and camel breeding center. Ships voyaging from Iraq, India, and China would make stops in Qatar ports during this period. Chinese porcelain, West African coins, and artifacts from Thailand have been discovered in Qatar. Portugal, Bahrain, Saudi, Egypt, and Abu Dhabi have had influence over ancient Qatar at various times. Ottoman control of Qatar lasted from 1871 to 1915. Then the British controlled Qatar up to 1971, after which Qatar won its independence. Oil reserves were first discovered in 1939. However, exploitation and development were delayed by World War II. Oil exports began in 1949, and oil revenues became the country's main source of revenue. The pearl trade has gone into decline. Oil and gas revenue were used to fund the expansion and modernization of Qatar's infrastructure.